Friday night action at MSU Soccer Park for the USL Championship, where New York Red Bulls 2 have created a fortress, currently tied for their best home record in New York Red Bull 2 history. The final regular season home game as New York Red Bulls 2 try and break that record here in 2019 on ESPN+. David Goss and Mike Grella with you as New York Red Bulls 2 host the Charleston Battery in what is a huge match for both sides.
Yeah, big match, exciting match tonight. Red Bull 2 coming off with 2 losses. It's uncharacteristic for them. They've been so great this year. They've scored so many goals, but they also leaked a few goals in the last game, 5 goals against. And Charleston, you know, older team, more defensive team. They always are in a difficult matchup with Red Bull 2. So we'll see how they play out tonight. Zico Lewis here, star player for tonight. I actually had the pleasure of playing with him. 6 goals, 3 assists. He's been fantastic. Fast, quick, small player, and you know, game-winning assist in the Nations Cup a couple weeks back. So a very exciting player to watch tonight. Scored the first goal ever in MSU Park history as part of New York Red Bulls 2. As Mike Grella said. And on the flip side, the man who's been scoring the goals this year, Jared Stroud. He is leading New York Red Bulls 2 in goals and assists. Yeah, exciting player. 14 goals, 9 assists. He does it all. He's on the verge of breaking the goal scoring records, the assist records, the most minutes played. I mean, he's just all over the place. He's done fantastic. He's definitely one of the MVPs of the squad this year. Can Jared Stroud link up with Omir Fernandez tonight and find the formula for New York Red Bulls 2 to get back to winning ways? The Charleston Battery in a dogfight right now for their postseason lives, but they control their own destiny. We've got all your action coming up here in just a moment on ESPN+.
With MSG Go, the game goes where you go. So you can watch live Red Bulls games anywhere you want. It's free and easy because if you get MSG, you get MSG Go. Watch your favorite team wherever you are with MSG Go, presented by Lexus. Download it for free where you get your apps.
Lemma gets it back. He will take a strike.
Played in. Lauro gets a hand to it.
Denied by Lauro from point blank.
He's standing on his head right now.
He hands it to Lima and a hat trick.
Barlow putting it in, back of the net. Deposited in by Jared Stroud. New York puts the exclamation point on this one tonight.
The lights are on in Montclair, New Jersey for Hot Dog Night, the final home regular season game for New York Red Bulls 2, but they are hoping with the victory that they could put themselves in position to host a postseason game here at MSU Soccer Park. David Goss and Mike Grella joining you here on ESPN+. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for these two teams for the Charleston Battery. Heavy changes from their last game, a victory at home against North Carolina FC. You see Zico Lewis in that front line alongside Atula Guerra, the Trinidad and Tobago veteran, a 3-man midfield, and look for Nuga to be a key in that central midfield. Got a red card in the last game against New York Red Bulls 2 earlier this summer. And of course, Taylor Mueller, the longtime veteran at center back alongside Van Schaik. And on the flip side for New York Red Bulls 2, a few changes. It'll look more like a 4-2-2 when they play out there, as Jared Stroud and Omir Fernandez will link up in front of Zayat and Lemma. Preston Kilwine returning to the starting lineup to partner Sean Nealis for New York Red Bulls 2, and this man, John Wolyniec. It's been a tough run 2 losses on the road at St. Louis and then conceding 4 goals in the first half against Louisville City in their last game. So he's looking to get back to winning ways. And on the flip side, a man who knows quite a lot about winning, Mike Anheuser, one of the all-time greats in the USL Hall of Fame, his 14th season, both GM and head coach of the Charleston Battery. He's won 2 USL titles, and he knows exactly what his team needs to do to get over the line. Daniel Gutierrez, our head official for this run, Jeffrey Skinker and Justin Lopez, his assistant referees, and Luis Diego Arroyo, the 4th official here tonight. New York Red Bulls still 4 games left in the season, but their final home game coming up here, and they're all red home kits. Red kits and red shorts going left to right on your monitor, and the Charleston Battery and their away white kits with black shorts, and they get us kicked off here for some Friday night soccer action in the USL Championship. Long ball over the top to get it started from O'Brien Woodbine, the Jamaican international. And Mike, when you look at this team, this matchup, a young, inexperienced team for New York Red Bulls against arguably the most experienced team in the Eastern Conference in Charleston.
Yeah, there's so much riding on this game. And by the way, it's such a beautiful night here for soccer. I mean, this is what soccer players dream of, a perfect temperature, perfect pitch. They water it before the game, so it's perfect prime conditions for an exciting matchup. But, you know, I'm never too worried about Red Bull 2 team here at home. They always seem to find a way with their high pressure and high energy. For Charleston, who are more compact, defensive, a little bit of an older, more experienced team, have a lot to play for tonight. So this is one of those games where there's so much riding on the line, and it's always exciting to be a part of it and to watch it and see how both teams sort of feel each other out.
Pressure put on up top there from Lewis, and then cleared away here by Van Schaik. Falls to the feet of Pigot. Mario Pigot, Panamanian Youth International, part of these eclectic group that Mike Anheuser has put together. He's built some of the best teams in USL history, some of the best players in USL history like Ozzy Alonso and Forrest Lasso have been a part of this Charleston Battery group. Sean Nealis getting the start alongside Preston Kilwine. There's a lot of size at the center back position for New York as Stroud floats this one wide for Rito. Rito able to bring it down, flying forward. Omir Fernandez now trying to get to the end line, clips one middle, and it's taken in the end by Joe Kuzminski.
Yeah, Stroud starting that play off in the midfield, and he's, you know, for a guy who's scored so many goals and assisted so many goals, look how deep he is there. Here you have Omir crossing that ball, floating it to the goalkeeper. But, you know, Stroud, someone who, for the stat sheets, he's dropping in deep, he's defending, he's doing a little bit of everything, and he's the start of that build-up play there.
Stroud, the all-time leader in assists, both career and in one season for New York Red Bulls too, and close to getting there for goal scoring as well. So he's 2 goals away from passing Brandon Allen for this best single season goal scoring mark in New York Red Bulls 2 history.
Yeah, impressive stuff, impressive stat sheet.
And for Stroud, he's been toggled at times from playing out wide to trying to be that number 10. So in this 4-2-2-2 formation, he gets the chance to play a little more centrally alongside Omir Fernandez in front of that 2-man holding midfield. Rito flying down the wing. Woodbine gets the tackle in.
It's an awesome challenge from Woodbine.
Brian Woodbine, a veteran Jamaican international, 13 caps. He's played across the world in Scandinavia as well as with the New England Revolution and the Ottawa Fury.
This doesn't look good.
And Rito's down, and you see immediately Sean McSherry, who came on at halftime against Louisville at right back.
This doesn't look like a good outcome for Rito.
You see Evan Loro all the way up the field to check on his fullback. And Rito has had a huge season for New York Red Bulls too. Coming up from Venezuela, his first year in the U.S. Has a goal and 2 assists. He's been.
You hate to speculate here, but you know, from this distance, it looked like what seemed to me like a broken ankle or a broken leg. So we're really wishing the best for him, and hoping that he's okay.
And he's been electric to watch this year down that right wing.
Look at this. 2 minutes into the game, he's flying down the wing already. He's been one of my favorite players to watch this season, and you see some of the reactions here, and I think it's what I expected: a broken leg or a broken ankle, and I just wish the best for him. I hope he can recover quickly, and I hope it's not as bad as it looked.
For you as a player, not a part of this, the rest of the team, when something like this happens, especially early in a game, how do you keep your mindset? Are you talking to your teammates right now?
Yeah, I think it's hard. You see some of the reactions to the players now, but it's hard to sort of have that aggressive mentality and that discipline mentality when, so early on you see something like that. I think a lot of players don't speak about it, but they do fear things like that happening, serious injuries like that. And hopefully we're wrong, and hopefully it's not as bad as as we're predicting. But it is difficult to sort of get your mind back on the game when you see something like that, especially a teammate, who's been so good for him.
And on top of that, now you've got a player who's going to come in not exactly ready to go to try and hit the ground running here from the opening few minutes. Sean McSherry, as I mentioned, a rookie out of Princeton, came on at halftime at right back for New York Red Bulls 2 after they conceded 4 goals in the first half. Played well, and is one of the players that Coach Wolenek was talking to us about pregame, said his versatility is one of the things we like about him.
Yeah, it's why he brought him in, that he just liked that he can play left back, right back, and play in the midfield. And he'll come on now. Hopefully he'll be ready to go. I'm sure he is, because we're only 4 minutes in, so he's probably still warm from the warm-up.
If you weren't going to start and you were a sub, you warm up as hard right before the pregame as you would like a starter?
Not as much, but personally, I was not ever a big
not a big warm-up guy?
Big into the warm-up. I'd like to just juggle the ball a couple times and have a few passes, and then I'm ready to go.
Even if you're starting?
Do a couple stretches. Yeah, I'm just not personally, I just like to really just slowly, and I'd like to save my energy, especially on some of those hot summer nights. I was always really worried about spending too much energy in the warm-up, so I was going to just pass, a couple juggles, a couple stretches, and I'm ready to go.
Because your pregame pasta meal had filled all the space.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your pregame meal?
It was pasta. I would go to...
but like good Italian pasta or just like simple with butter?
It's really simple, like nothing on it, so not even too much butter, not too much. It's just like a little bit of oil and olive oil and really light, really light stuff that was on the stomach. And my wife most of the time. If it was not my wife, it was the pizzeria right outside the stadium, Nino's. I'd go there and have them. They knew exactly what I wanted. They'd make me, really bland pasta with some bread and sometimes a glass of wine or whatever it may be.
Pre-game glass of wine?
Yeah, a little bit. So, but that always helped me. 3.5 hours before the game, just get some pasta and stuff like that. Actually, interestingly enough, in Columbus, we were on the keto diet. So, Italian guy from Long Island like myself, and ate pasta my whole life, and I get to Columbus, and there's no carbs all week. It's just no carbs. There's fruits counted as carbs, so no fruit, nothing to do with carbs. It was all red meat and fish and stuff like that. So that was difficult, and that was tough change for me, but I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it worked or not. I didn't really feel a difference, but
into the meals of Mike Grella, and of course, unfortunate moments right now. Edgardo Rito still down, getting treatment. Let's take a look at the foul as you see Sean McSherry, who's going to come on here in place of Rito, flying forward as we've said. A tackle comes in there from O'Brien Woodbine.
Yeah, and it's one of those you don't want to see. It does look like a break, but it's a clean, hard challenge. Sometimes the angles are wrong and the weight on that leg is the wrong, and those things can happen in this game. We all sign up for that. So, but really, really wishing him all the best and hoping that it's not as serious as we all think.
And has really changed the tone of this game.
Certainly.
Right here, and of course this team's thinking about their teammate, and he battled through injuries for Rito in 2018. He was expected to come to the U.S. earlier, had bad injuries, had to fight through that to get here in 2019 from Metropolitanos in Venezuela, where he played his whole career for a number of teams. And now the crowd giving him the applause as he comes off. Sean McSherry comes on in place of him. And our best go out to Edgardo Rito, who has been phenomenal to watch and a bright personality in the locker room for this New York Red Bull 2 team. Part of what is a growing Venezuelan contingent across the United States in soccer.
And definitely shoot out your messages to him tonight, to Rito, for sure. Injuries never fun, difficult moment in any player's life. So shoot out your messages of support to him, and wishing him all the best.
So now we prepare to get restarted by our official Daniel Gutierrez, and these two teams will now fight through this. Now the question is which team can kind of get their heads right quicker and who can kind of get back into the flow of the game. It's never easy after you said you see something that's bigger than soccer on the field and happens for New York Red Bulls too, to one of your friends and one of your teammates.
Yeah, it's a little bit, it's one of those injuries that's gruesome as well. So we'll see who gets back into it. I'm sure after the first couple of minutes, they'll be, 10 seconds, they're back at it. So
McSherry called for the foul there. Sean McSherry dealt with injuries throughout much of this year himself. This just his 6th appearance, the Freehold, New Jersey native. Went to Princeton, which is always a good school to go to if you want to get drafted by New York Red Bulls.
That's right. Jesse Marsh was a Princeton guy. Princeton's a pretty good school, I think, right?
Played under coach, I think his name's Bob Bradley at Princeton. Pretty good coach.
Yeah.
Pretty good college soccer coach.
One of the best American coaches, or probably the best American coach. Bob Bradley.
Currently leading LAFC, went to the Confed Cup final with the U.S. and, of course, a World Cup round of 16. As Stroud takes that long shot. So McSherry will slot in at that right back spot. It makes this an interesting one for John Wolnick because we know, in speaking to him, a couple guys on the field that have maybe a minutes limit because they could play again on Sunday against the New England Revolution because they haven't played heavy minutes. So you don't want a guy like Omir Fernandez who hasn't played in about 6 weeks. You don't want to throw him in on the deep end. So it'll be interesting now to see what type of flexibility John Wolnick has, as we've got a dangerous free kick coming up here.
Yeah, that's right. John always has a transcript of what he has to do sub-wise and what he wants to do sub-wise, so this is going to put a kink in that.
Candela will take this free kick, hit low and clear it away. Zayats with the initial touch. And Zayats will head that one away. Opportunity gone missing there for the Charleston Battery. The Battery, of course, one of the longest running soccer teams in the United States. A great history, great fan base down in Charleston. They host the Charleston Challenge Cup every year during preseason, where they host teams from MLS as well as USL. With just 3 weeks remaining, the pressure is officially on. Tune into ESPN3 on October 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern as El Paso Locomotive look to secure one of the final playoff spots, while Fresno FC has its sights set on hosting some playoff games. It's Locomotive FC and the Foxes, October 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern for Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN3. It's a fascinating race, basically for everything outside of the first seed in the Western Conference right now. There are 5 teams within 1 point at the top of the Eastern Conference. New York Red Bulls 2 come into the weekend in first place, but if they don't get a result here, they could drop to 5th by Sunday night. And you go over and you look at the Western Conference, where everyone's just fighting to get in. Charleston Battery right now, 1 point behind Birmingham Legion for the final spot in the East, and they head to Birmingham in about 8 days for their next game. So for Charleston, this would be a huge opportunity to pick up some big points on the road and set themselves up over the final 4 games of the year. Cross played in from Nelson. It falls and flicked on by Elney, who comes back to help defensively.
Yeah, Charleston's definitely come out of the break a little bit better than New York Red Bull 2 have. Playing more aggressive, just winning balls, heading balls off the field, and sort of, in a way, playing Red Bull 2 style, but doing a little bit better than them after the break.
Nealis heads this one down. Then shake into the feet of Woodbine, who goes all the way back to his keeper Kuzminski. Joe Kuzminski now his second year as the lockdown starter for the Charleston Battery. Out of UAB, a Denver, Colorado native. Now Fernandez gets it back under control for New York. Omir Fernandez, his second Red Bull 2 appearance of the year. His third of his career, as he made an appearance before going to Wake Forest as an academy kid. Now trying to find some minutes to get his legs fresh. Goes wide here. Chance for Tolkien to drive one. Knocked down in the box and back out to Zayats. Stroud now looking for some space. He's surrounded by white shirts, still gets a shot away, and it goes over the top.
Yeah, good bit of play from New York Red Bull 2 there. Starting with Jorgensen, making the run down the line. You like to see Jorgensen in the middle, but he gets down the line, he keeps the play alive. They swing it across here. And Tolkien just kind of whips it across in a little bit of a gap there, hoping that either bounces around or he finds one of his teammates. But still good quality, he finds a good little space in there. And then Stroud just trying to get another shot on target between two guys. Difficult angle though.
It's an interesting addition, Omir Fernandez, to this team because similar to Jared Stroud, two-footed, creative player, not a pure wide guy, not a pure 10, where Bezecourt's maybe more of a possession player. Seems like Fernandez and Stroud can kind of start to float and find the game wherever they need to.
Yeah, they're two guys that sort of have the key to unlock defenses, the way they move, the way that they can shift directions. Both very good on the ball. I mean, Fernandez there really sets that play up. You know, he's a big part of it, plays it down the line, gets it back, switches it across, all one touch. So, you know, good soccer IQ as well.
Kilwine with that long ball turned over. Knocked away there from Pigo. Nelson with the throw in. Kyle Nelson, just 22 years old, out of Austin, Texas. His first year in professional soccer, getting the start at right back for back-to-back weeks here. His 15th start of the season at a Wofford College down in the Georgia area. He'll have a tough task today with Stroud and Tolkien coming down his wing. Lima back into the feet of Zayats. Wide for McSherry. McSherry can't find a teammate. And now the whistle will go. Daniel Gutierrez recognizing the offside, trying to play advantage for Charleston, and now he chooses to blow his whistle.
This game is really evenly balanced. You know, I like what Red Bull 2 are doing. They're switching the ball a lot, so they're using the width of the field, and when it's not on, they're taking it, quickly getting it to the other side, and that's the way you unlock the defenses that want to sit back or sit in tight blocks. So I like what they're doing.
Have you ever played in a 4-2-2-2?
Yeah, we tried to do it a bunch of times when I was at New York Red Bull. It always seemed to me just a little bit too narrow. You know I speak a lot about width. I think width is a really important thing. It's one of the first things you learn when you're a kid, right? You get the ball and everyone's got to open up, and when you don't have it, you kind of get compact as a group. So you need width to especially be able to play good attacking football. I think you need a natural width. So.
And you played in that middle two where Stroud and Fernandez are today?
Yeah, I did, and it never really lasted long. We would try it a game or two or a training or two, and then it never stuck. We didn't seem like we were kind of grinding gears, so we'd always go back to our original formation, which was like a 4-2-3-1, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What is the role for those two players different from what you're normally doing in that 4-2-3-1?
You're just a little bit more narrow, and you're doing a little bit more midfield work, in my opinion. So we always talk about having a check in the midfield. So when you play with this 4-2-2-2, there has to be, in defensive shape, there has to be this check that you create with the midfield four. So obviously the near side guy going out, the other two central midfielders in sort of like a staggered position, and then the last midfielder up and in. So like you would imagine, like a check.
So not checking to the ball, you mean a physical.
That's right.
Check mark.
Like a check mark. That's the shape you want to be in.
So Omir Fernandez and Jared Stroud, a lot of work for them coming up tonight as Zayats draws the foul there in midfield. Look like against Candela. Vincenzo Candela, one of the battlers in central midfield alongside Anunga. Tolkien into the feet of Lima. Now Tolkien gets to his left foot, another cross put in. They'll go all the way through the box. McSherry able to save it on the far side. Fernandez lets that one run. Stroud can't get there, and Van Schaik's clearance will go off of Stroud.
McSherry's done well since he's come on. He's been positive, energetic. He's gotten himself in some good positions.
New York Red Bulls 2 hosting the Charleston Battery, the final regular season game of the 2019 season for New York Red Bulls 2. Currently sitting in first place in the Eastern Conference, which would mean the ability to host a playoff game, but 1 point divides them between first and fifth place, which would drop them out of hosting with 3 games left to play for New York Red Bulls 2. They will travel to North Carolina FC, then to Birmingham as Jorgensen puts the Jets on there. That game against Birmingham, the one that was rained out from earlier in the season that Tom Barlow scored in and was rescheduled. And then New York Red Bulls 2 closed the season 3 days later at Loudoun United.
That's a great ball over the top. Peugeot now 1v1.
Puts that ball in at the near post, and it bounces but safely into the hands of Lauro.
Yeah, here's the replay. Couple step overs and poor cross in the end. But you'd like to see someone crash in the near post.
So Zico Lewis right now playing up top alongside at times Atula Guerra, but sitting in underneath Guerra as well. Pressure put on here well by Charleston. Great work from Anunga to start this. Now Lewis looking for an opening. McSherry gets a touch to it. Rittmeyer down the wing. He's coming off 2 goals in the last 2 games for Rittmeyer. Going to stay hot here against New York. Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. We've got 2 teams here who have signed a number of players out of their academy. Charleston Battery, they've been successful signing players straight out of high school, and players like Nico Rittmeyer who have come through the Battery Academy, went to college, and then coming back. And, of course, for New York Red Bulls 2, Omir Fernandez, a homegrown player. John Tolkien here who tries to make the tackle. Guerra gets by him and can't find the back of the net.
Yeah, Guerra's going to be disappointed with himself. He gets himself in a good position there, but he's got to finish that. That's like a penalty shot, maybe easier. He's got both corners there because his angle is so central. You'll see here, great pass across, good first touch, good strength, and then he's alone with the keeper. He's got to slow himself down there, pick a corner. Personally, I thought he should have passed it into the other corner, but it doesn't matter. You can't miss the target from that range.
Had 15 goals last year, but Guerra, the veteran Soka Warrior, injuries this year. This just his 9th appearance, and you could see for him a little bit of rust on that one.
Yeah, for sure. He'd love to have that one back, and maybe out of 10 times he scores that 9 times, but kind of just drags it.
So New York Red Bulls 2, 4 goals conceded in the first half of their last game against Louisville, and threatened early on here at home, where they have been almost dominant this season. New York Red Bulls 2 looking for their 12th home win of the year. But right now the Battery doing exactly what they wanted to do on the road, making it difficult for New York.
Yeah, and what I am seeing a little bit of, and maybe could be the reason why they're struggling defensively, the back line is playing long balls forward, and then no matter where the ball's going, the second ball, A, they're not winning enough second balls, and then B, they're not stepping up fast enough and high enough. So they're leaving huge spaces, and I've been part of this system where if you play long balls and you're not picking up second balls and you're stretched, you're really creating big openings and big spaces for the opposing team.
Lewis here. Pushed over by McSherry. No call from Daniel Gutierrez. And now New York Red Bulls 2 going back the other way. The home side trying to find their feet here. First place team in the Eastern Conference on their heels at home right now. Long ball over the top for Elney. He's got a runner, and Jorgensen looks for him early. And well done there by Kuzminski to come out and take that one.
Yeah, and another key, Elney and Jorgensen are always threatening him behind. They're always running him behind. Watch every time one of the midfielders get the ball, whether it's Stroud or Fernandez, every time they're on the run. And that's a huge key to being dangerous.
Tolkien with the first header there. Nelson flying forward. And he loses possession out. David Goss and Mike Grella with you here on ESPN Plus. The final regular season game at home for New York Red Bulls 2. Still about a month left of the season. And a ton of action across the USL Championship, which you can follow all weekend, of course, on ESPN Plus. Fernandez here in space. He's got some help. Woodbine closes him down. Fernandez able to get by Woodbine. Can't find a teammate with that clip ball, and Nelson heads it away. And Zayas has it tackled off his foot. Beautiful footwork there. New York Red Bulls 2 can't find the finish.
Good ball across, good clearance. A really hard challenge. He wins the ball, comes back across. It's a good move by Lemma and just a weak shot on the target.
Long ball there from Candela, not handled by a teammate.
What you're seeing tonight is a lot of counterattacking. You're seeing, and that last play, believe it or not, it was 4v4. It was 4 Red Bull shirts against 4 Charleston shirts, and you're seeing this end-to-end stuff, this really open game.
Elney in on goal here, gets the shot away from a tough angle, though, and he puts it wide of that near post.
Yeah, Elney in this situation, he's really good because he's direct, he's strong, he's powerful, and he can run. But in this situation, you like to see him maybe either fake a shot, try to chop his defender, try to just create something because the angles are kind of working against you. So unless you know you have a really good angle or you're going to really hit it hard in the far post and create some sort of opportunity, just something else that, might work, maybe a chop across or a fake shot or putting it through his legs or just something else instead of being so direct in those situations.
Direct game for both teams here in these opening 25 minutes. An unfortunate start. Edgardo Rito stretchered off with a serious injury in the opening 3 minutes of this game. Really put a cloud over this one. But now these two teams starting to open up and create chances under the lights. Beautiful fall evening here in Montclair, New Jersey. This USL Championship match, and it'll be the veteran center back Taylor Mueller to take this one. Mueller floats this one in, headed out by Zayats. Mueller steps to the second ball, gets it only as far as Fernandez. Stroud in a foot race, and Van Schaik will beat him there.
So close. Those are the margins when you play, a little bit of a better pass there, and they're in, and it could very well be 1-0.
Wilmer Fernandez, the Bronx native, in just his second USL Championship appearance here of the year. 16 appearances in Major League Soccer in his rookie year at Wake Forest, where he was ACC Offensive Player of the Year last year. Did you ever win that award?
Yeah, I did a few times, I think.
A few times?
Yeah, I think I won it a couple of years.
Brush the shoulders off a little. Get out of the way. Wake Forest considered one of, if not the best, college programs over the last few years. And Fernandez, super sub in his first year as Jorgensen breaks through here. Across the face of the goal. Can't find a teammate. And now Charleston keeps it in, and the white shirt's starting to flood back the other way.
You see a lot more in modern football that, these balls across the face of the goal, in behind the defense, and they're difficult to defend. They do work. Seeing a counterattack here.
Flying forward is Rittmeyer to the feet of Lewis. Guerra back to Lewis. Lewis has the shot. And he curls that one, but can't get enough shape on it.
Zico Lewis, the right idea there. He tries to finish, but he does have an option on the right that he can pass to. And you just wonder here, if he can sort of slip that pass to the man on the right. But he tries to pick a corner on a different day. That can go in.
Zico Lewis really finding his feet at Charleston, his first year with the club after spending last year in Iceland. The number of teams, he's got 6 goals and 4 assists. He's been on fire for Bermuda. Scored the goal to qualify them for the Gold Cup against Dominican Republic about a year ago. Helped Bermuda in their first ever Gold Cup get a win in their final group stage game just a few miles away at Red Bull Arena, as Bermuda closed out their group with a victory behind Costa Rica and Haiti, and then had the assist to Naki Wells for the opening goal on the road against Panama in Nations League play for their historic 2-0 victory to open up the first round of League A in CONCACAF Nations League play. So Lewis doing big things both internationally and now in his club career. Fernandez trying to flick that one to Stroud. Cleared only as far as Zayats. Fernandez back on the ball. He's been a menace the last few minutes. Omir Fernandez, and his shot blocked and easily handled in the end by Kuzminski.
Yeah, definitely the right idea. You could see a shiftiness when he wants to cut inside or cut outside, and you don't really know where he's going. Hard to defend. In that case, he's outnumbered.
Lewis gets it wide. Rittmeyer flying forward. He's got options in the middle. Cuts it back, and the shot over the top. Fell perfectly for Pigot.
Pigot has been fantastic tonight. The way he uses his body, the way he's retained possession. He's been up and down this line. He's put in a really good shift. That one on the turf bobbling, he doesn't hit it well.
Panamanian Youth International signed in late 2018 by Charleston. Didn't make an appearance, but this year, 3 goals, 3 assists, and this now his 23rd appearance of the season. As you said, he's had another fantastic performance so far here in the first half.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been lively. He's had a lot of the ball, a lot of running in behind. He's done well so far.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your clubs on ESPN Plus. It has been phenomenal. It's going to be so much fun to watch the end of this season. Coming up on ESPN Plus, big game this weekend. New Mexico United facing off against the record setters in the Phoenix Rising, who set the record for the most wins in a row at any level in U.S. soccer professional history, with 20 straight victories. That was finally finished off by Fresno FC just a week ago. Stroud flying forward here into the feet of Jorgensen, who can't get it right. Stroud back on the ball and knocked away by Van Schaik. Stroud's cross will go out for a corner kick.
And this game so far looks to me like we work on this in training. Teams work on this in training where they play these transition games where, it's like 3 against 2 or whatever the numbers may be, and you're transitioning from a defense to attack and from attack to defense, and that's what this game looks like. And you may not realize it, but these guys are traveling a long distances and at high speed, so wouldn't be surprised if they get a little tired earlier than usual tonight.
Lima's cross knocked down at the near post. Omir Fernandez, we were told, pretty excited to play in this game. Hasn't gotten the minutes he would like over the last 2 months. As the New York Red Bulls are in a fight for a home playoff game, and we're just in a fight to get into the postseason for a while in MLS action. Fernandez dropped down the pecking order as a few new players came in over the summer, including some Premier League experienced players, and Fernandez now getting his second opportunity of the year with New York Red Bulls 2. It looks like he is taking advantage of the chance to get on the field.
Yeah, for sure. John Wolniak said he was excited to play in this one, and you could definitely see the difference. And
Zayat's big ball out wide for McSherry. McSherry floats one in. Can't find a teammate.
Yeah, mentally, the mental part of soccer, of how you feel and the way you perceive how people feel about you in the locker room, and confidence and all that is so big. And I mean, I know physically, especially nowadays, you need to be fast and strong and all that, but that's only half of it. Mentally, you need to be really in a good place. You need to be happy in your life, I think, is a huge part of it. And you can see with Fernandez tonight, there's just a pep in his step. He looks shifty, he looks quick. And it's because he really is committed tonight and he really wants to be here.
McSherry swapping sides, earns that free kick.
McSherry's been a handful since coming on. He's been really good.
John Wolyniec happy with the performance he got from McSherry when he brought him off the bench against Louisville at halftime of the last game. Just trying to change things up after conceding 4 goals. McSherry scored twice on the road against Swope Park Rangers about 3 weeks ago, but the bulk of that game played with a man up. Evan Laurel right now out at midfield just talking to the assistant referee.
Yeah.
And you can hear him complaining on our field side mics right now about Charleston slowing down restarts here. It'll be Stroud and Lima standing over this one. Lima 6 assists this year. Stroud, the all-time leader. He floats that one in. It's cleared away by Van Schaik. Guerra now. Anunga leading the counter. Out wide for Pigot. 1v1 here with Stroud. Pigot into the box. Can't find Lewis. And finally, Tolkien clears it away.
Yeah, and you talk about...
Kick will go in favor of Charleston, and Matthias Jorgensen furious with his teammate.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's furious about, but, with Pigot there, I think, you're in a 1v1 situation. You're traveling with speed, so you have momentum. So no matter what, you have the advantage. If you go by him, he's got to take you down, or you're going to get by him and get a cross off or a shot off. So I think passing at the top of the box there when it's really crowded is not the right decision. So in a lot of these situations, making the right decision and how quickly you can make the right decision is a huge part of it.
As a guy who had a special ability to take players 1v1, what is this a coach is saying to you throughout the week through training to say when to take your risk and when not? And Charleston flying forward here now, trying to take their risks. McSherry puts this one back to Loro, who dangerously puts this one out.
Yeah, having that balance of when to do stuff, when to take risks, when to take guys on, when to just go back around. The faster you learn it, the faster you can feel it. Every game is different. So with creative players or players that can go 1v1 like I was, you have to be careful on restricting those players.
Tolkien with a dangerous play there. And the composure to get it out to Jorgensen. Into the feet of Zayat. Zayat goes long here. And now it's back in possession for Charleston as Nelson didn't really have a teammate there. Ended on the chest of John Tolkien.
Yeah, I think Kyle Nelson has been good defensively. He's been in shape. He's been in the right shape. He's always attached to the back line. He's made some good challenges. He's been defensively solid, but he's made some poor decisions on the ball. He gives this one away, whereas not really the time to play on this side. And even before he gets one on the right wing, and really kind of just runs into trouble with it.
And a free kick going against Charleston, quickly taken by New York. The cross comes in. It's knocked down in the box. The clearance out to Tolkien. To the feet of Kilwine. Kilwine back to the homegrown teenager and John Tolkien. New York Red Bulls, too, trying to turn up the pressure here a little bit more, but Charleston right now have had a counterpunch every step of the way. Stroud knocked down from behind, and Daniel Gutierrez points to the penalty spot. Kyle Nelson takes down Jared Stroud from behind. And New York Red Bulls, too, a chance to take the lead here.
Talk about curse of the announcer. Said he's been solid defensively, and it's a really clumsy foul here in the box. We'll get another look at it here. Yeah, he's on the wrong side, and he doesn't really try to win the ball, but he does make contact. Those angles are wrong. You got to really be careful. fair play to him. He is trying to be careful, but he does make contact, and it's a penalty.
Yellow card shown here. It looks like for Woodbine for complaining.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on this game for Charleston and for New York Red Bull, too.
For Jared Stroud, he's trying to keep his composure now as O'Brien Woodbine already has a yellow card shown here, and he is being pulled away from the referee by his teammates. It wasn't Woodbine who had the foul called against him. It was Nelson. And Woodbine absolutely furious still. And Jared Stroud, if he can keep his composure, could make a little bit of history here for New York Red Bulls too, and give his team a lead. Our head official, Daniel Gutierrez, still talking to Woodbine. Jared Stroud sitting on 14 goals here already in the 2019 season, scored a penalty kick last week against Louisville. He steps up and can't do it again. Hit softly and saved easily in the end by Kuzminski.
I'm not sure what happens at the end of this play, Kuzminski and Stroud. I think he kind of just pushes him down. I guess he's angry that he tries to hit it down the middle or whatever, but really poor penalty from Stroud.
Joe Kuzminski with a massive save there against Jared Stroud. In the final dying moments here of this first half to keep his team level. Lewis now the other way. Can Charleston make New York pay? Cut back. And Guerra can't get a foot on that one.
Really good ball squared there from Pigot.
Anunga floats one in. Pigot in an offside position on that far side. But Mike, Stroud has been lethal from the penalty spot.
Yeah, he tries to get a little too clever there, trying to play it in the middle, and the goalkeeper really excited. I mean, there's just no need from Kuzminski, and you know, Stroud's got to be furious with that penalty and getting caught and then getting pushed to the ground by the goalkeeper. So, but it happens. It's part of the game. Sometimes you go in the middle. It's just as good a chance of scoring or missing from going to the side. So,
Stroud, as I said, earned the penalty kick and finished it off against Louisville in the last game. Earned the penalty kick here. Could not finish it.
Yeah, he really fires goalkeepers up. You know, going down the middle always fires them, chipping them always fires them up. I'm not sure why. I guess it's
because
like
it's the most embarrassing clip.
Yeah, I guess
that comes
so.
out after we're like, oh, he just rolled it down the middle and the goalkeeper's nowhere in the frame.
Yeah, but he was not having it. He stayed in the middle. Made a relatively easy save in the end.
Statistically, they say if the goalkeeper never dives, they have their best chance of saving it. You'd have to think at some point people would realize you never dive and always go to the side against that goalkeeper, but you never know.
You never know. It's sort of the mystery of penalties, sort of what makes them so fun to watch, is that you just don't know.
Did you like to take them?
I used to love taking penalties, yeah.
Nerves of steel, Mike Grella.
Yeah, I had this one penalty that my brother taught me when I was younger, and I won't give the trick away, but
what do you mean
it
you
worked
retired?
a lot.
Let it out.
Worked a lot.
Let the young people out there listening to the game learn.
It's one that you have to sort of see. It's got to be demonstrated. It can't be explained.
Anunga there takes a chunk out of Zayat, and the second yellow card of this first half shown moments apart. So Anunga now, who got a red card in the last match against New York Red Bulls 2 earlier this year. That one back on June 29th in Charleston. He picked up that red card in the 45th minute. So he gets his first yellow card of the game. And Anunga's been good in this game, but you could see for a guy in his position, there might be a time throughout a game where you need to use a yellow card.
Yeah, certainly. But, you know, Charleston, just like we thought, even like what John Wolniak told us, they're tough. You know, they're not scared to challenge. They're not scared to be compact. And you know, Anunga's just a little late, but he's a tough tackler.
Lima floats this one in. Kuzminski able to take it easily. Brian Anunga, just 23 years old, out of Cameroon. Came to the United States through Rainbow FC, a program That's brought a number of young players to the U.S. and 2 former New York Red Bulls 2 players in Anatola Bong and Marius Obakop came through the same program, and Eric Ayuk in Philadelphia. Lunga originally coming over to play with the Wilmington Hammerheads, and then spent a year in PDL with Carolina Dynamo, of course now USL League 2, before linking up in 2017 with Charleston. This is his 83rd career appearance for the Battery with the Cameroon Youth International.
There's just so much talent in Africa, African players all over the world. Some of the most talented players in the world. I've played with a few and just fantastic people. And yeah, and Abong, just, I mean, absolute physical specimen. Unbelievable some of the stuff he was able to do in training. Unfortunately, he didn't really get the opportunity to do it a lot for the first team, but really just a special player, strength-wise. And, you know, his ability in the box to score goals, just a powerful forward.
6 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half. If you're joining us late, Edgardo Rito starting right back at Venezuela for New York Red Bulls 2 with a gruesome injury in the opening minutes of this game. As Jorgensen flicks this one past the defense, Kuzminski comes out and able to take it. So our thoughts, prayers go out to Edgardo Rito. Whatever the news comes back as, stretchered off the field in the opening 5 minutes of this one. That's why you see that 6 minutes of stoppage time. Took a little while, but these two teams got their mindset back a little bit here in the second half of this first period. They've started to find some offensive opportunities both ways. Atula Guerra, one of the best chances of the game that he put just wide, and then Jared Stroud, the missed penalty kick just moments ago. As Guerra steps on the back of Tolkien's foot there. And Guerra a little frustrated with the call. Daniel Gutierrez has shown 2 yellow cards, both to Charleston, in the last few minutes.
I think Guerra's trying to say here that he didn't mean to do it, and that, but it's really a silly challenge, really sloppy, clumsy, silly challenge. So yeah, the ball's gone. He's got no chance of winning the ball. I mean, you don't know if he did it on purpose or he's really if he really timed it that poorly. But either way, has he shown him the yellow card? Yeah, yep. I think he has, and totally deserved yellow card. I mean, the ball's gone. It's like almost a second after the play. So you like to think Tolkien can get up from that.
I don't know that it's a yellow card, but
I don't know. It's like the bottom of his cleat stepping on his ankle. Really, really late, kind of foolish challenge. I mean, whether he meant it or not, it's still a pretty nasty challenge.
John Tolkien, his first year playing at the professional level, still an academy player on loan, committed to Wake Forest. This now his 9th appearance, 3 assists, 5th on the team, the U.S. Youth International. He is someone that you've been really impressed by throughout this year. For such a young player, his ability on the ball, his soccer IQ.
Yeah, his quality is what stands out the most, his left foot. Being able to see the pass and then being able to deliver that pass with the right weight, with the right flight, whether he drives it or it's like a soft pass or a spin pass, and then some of the balls he whips in. For me, those are his best characteristics for sure. And then he can do a little bit of everything. I've seen him play left back. I've seen him play center midfield. So because he has so much quality and a very good soccer IQ, he's able to fill a lot of different positions.
So Tolkien able to remain in the game. Kilwine floats this one to the far post. Nealis puts it back across, almost an own goal. And Jorgensen now battling. Back towards Tolkien, who can't get there first. Anunga with the first touch, and then the clearance from Nelson. And Kilwine goes up, wins it over Lewis. Zico Lewis not going to have a lot of success right now in the air against this mammoth center back pairing for New York Red Bulls 2. Closing minutes of this first half. A couple big opportunities both ways, still locked in at 0-0 here. David Goss and Mike Grella with you on ESPN+. Stroud with the volley, and he can't get that one on frame.
Good play from McSherry, good ball. you like to see Stroud hit that a little bit better.
You can see Anunga right now in a debate with his center backs as Stroud a little bit too open.
Yeah, Stroud's got to, I mean, the quality that he has and the confidence that he should have right now, I mean, he's got to hit that, just get that down on target. And any connection on target would surprise the goalkeeper. So he's got to do a little better. Maybe, you know, since the penalty, he's still thinking about it. But Anunga, he's no nonsense, huh? He's just getting around the field, tackling people. It doesn't look like he knows he has a yellow card. That last sequence, you know, he tackles 2 guys that are like 5 yards away from him. So no nonsense midfielder.
3 yellow cards shown in the game. All 3 to the Charleston Battery over the last 10 minutes of this one. That man, O'Brien Woodbine, for complaining after the penalty kick was called. Maybe he got in Jared Stroud's head with all the time he spent around the ball. Didn't allow Stroud to take it quickly. And Stroud's shot saved down the middle from Kuzminski. Stroud goes over the top there. Anunga and Guerra both picking up yellow cards as well. Plenty of options on the bench for both these teams. For this Charleston side, Arthur Bashua, as well as Dante Marini, attacking options. A.J. Patterson, Granada International at left back, as well off the bench. And on the flip side for New York Red Bulls too, they've already been forced into the 1 substitution for Rito that brought on Sean McSherry at right back. They still have longtime veteran Jordan Scarlett, as well as Ben Mines, and the new signing in Omar Sow on the bench, as we'll see our first yellow card towards New York, and it is to John Tolkien here in first half stoppage time.
Yeah, and it's been a very physical game. A lot of challenges, a lot of yellow cards. They're deservedly so.
And New York knew they were going to be in for a battle here against the experienced Charleston side. There was a red card in the last game, and Tolkien, he's had trouble with Pigot in this game defensively, and that time he gets beat and puts that foot in.
Yeah, Pigot has been good tonight, and in this situation, I just think Tolkien looks a little vulnerable. The way he defends, he sort of doesn't slow down and gets beat too easily.
Ball played in from Ben Shake, inches wide of the far post, and it'll be a corner kick coming. It was Kyle Nelson attacking that ball for Charleston. The man who gave up the penalty kick, but saw his blemish saved by his goalkeeper, and it was put out in the end by a New York Red Bull 2 defender. And now a corner kick coming. Lewis goes short to Pigot. Trying to get to the end line. McSherry in a battle here. It's knocked out. McSherry won't let it go across the end line for another corner. And New York able to play it out for the final moments of the first half. A wild first half, a huge injury in the opening minutes. These 2 teams slowly recovered. 4 yellow cards shown in the final 10 minutes of the first half. And a missed penalty kick. We've had everything.
Yeah, we've had a little of everything. It's an even game. It's a physical game, and there's a lot to play for in the second half.
New York Red Bulls, too, trying to get back to winning ways. Currently first in the Eastern Conference, but they've got a lot of work to do in the second half to stay there. Charleston Battery, they control their own destiny, but they're looking up in the fight for the last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. And right now they've done everything except finish that one opportunity. We've got more action coming up for you in just a moment here on ESPN+.
With MSG Go, the game goes where you go. So you can watch live Red Bulls games anywhere you want. It's free and easy because if you get MSG, you get MSG Go. Watch your favorite team wherever you are with MSG Go, presented by Lexus. Download it for free where you get your apps.
Under the lights, Friday night soccer action at MSU Soccer Park. David Goss and Mike Grella with you here on ESPN Plus. The next generation New York Red Bull Academy players out there on the field, but the current generation trying to get it done against the Charleston Battery. Former New York Red Bull 2 player Zico Lewis, guy you played with. Good moments in the first half, just didn't have the final product.
Good moments. He struggled against the two big center backs. He's dealt with a lot of long balls into him, so he's struggled to get his body and get himself in the game. He's going to really thrive on second balls. He needs the ball on the ground moving forward because he's a technical, shifty player. So he struggled in the first half a little bit.
Best look of the game for Lewis. Just couldn't find the inside of that top corner for Zico Lewis. On the flip side, the man we highlighted, who else? 14 goals, 9 assists, Jared Stroud. Up and down first half. He's been good in build-up, but the biggest moment was he earned the penalty kick and was not able to finish it.
Yeah, really poor penalty kick. He just kind of flubs it in the middle. He's been good. He's been himself. That play is just funny to me, but he's been himself. He's been all over the place. Just when it counts in the box, the penalty in this chance here hasn't been himself. Hasn't been able to find the target. So certainly in the second half, he's got a lot to play for, and he can get himself a goal. I think one more goal, he ties Brandon Allen's record for the single season most goals. So that's exciting. So he's got 4 games left to do it. Certainly you can get one tonight.
He's already the all-time leader in assists. This man might be the next one up to set the record books alight for New York Red Bulls too. Omar Sow, still just 18 years old, out of Harrison, New Jersey, has been a Red Bull Academy player, scored 89 goals for Harrison High School just a few miles away. A multi-time All-State selection, has a brother who was All-State as well here in New Jersey. Signed with New York Red Bulls too. Scored his first ever professional goal just a week ago. Sitting on the bench here today. Could he be the difference? We've got more action coming up for you in just a moment here on ESPN Plus.
Let's go with the left foot, Jamal Johnson.
Puts it in. What a goal!
Perfectly placed.
Trying to splice this New York defense with a curling effort. That's incredible! What a goal by Tenorio!
Johnson, though, going to hurry things up. Tenorio give it a blast. Goal!
Clever will take a shot. He fires it home for a classic.
Cicerone to the back post, sliding it in! What a start for St. Louis! Tyler Blackwood.
Wharton and Espria in it as well. Williamson strikes and puts it in, a 4th for T2 on a beautiful strike.
Asante saved by Cochran.
And a save by Morton. Through and a diving stop.
Punched away by Laurel. Follow, hit save Laurel. And this.
It's a hammer. Oh, that's an important intervention by Logan Ketterer.
Knocked on. Klaus fires. And back of the net. Paul Klaus. Finally here. Ball swept in. Headed on. Up and in. And just like that, Toronto answers.
Ball played forward up the side. Moon trying to drop it back. Tries the left-footed shot and finds the back of the net. Nick Moon in stoppage time in the first half, breaking the deadlock. Rayo now for Rodriguez, going for that top corner. What a save by Silvestre. To midfield for Richmond. Calls for Wheeler Amanu, and a shot saved by Fitzgerald. Still around the box for Chattanooga. The shot by Caparelli's pushed aside by Herrera. Austin Amer.
The USL Championship, the playoffs starting to take shape here, although still so much to be decided in the final few weeks of the regular season. Right now, 5 teams sitting right around the first place in the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, Phoenix as we said in the first half, finally their 20-match winning streak, not unbeaten, winning streak broken, but still so much to be decided across both the Eastern and Western Conference. And for you, Mike, you've been in this experience where every team's right next to each other. 1 point decides everything. How often are you looking at the standings? How often is the coaching staff talking about it, or the players in the locker room?
Yeah, you do talk about it and you do look at it. You tend to look at it when you're doing better as opposed to when you're doing worse. But, you know, as much as you look at the standings and as important as the games are, you still got to do all the little things right, and you got to take each game as it comes. So it doesn't really matter how much you look at it if you're not doing all the little things. All the little things are the most important things, and then you'll find yourself up that leaderboard in the playoffs.
New York to Pittsburgh, 1 point decides it all in the Western Conference right now, between 13th place all the way up to 6th place is a difference of just 5 points. You see the big matches coming up this weekend in both conferences. Pittsburgh against Indy in the Eastern Conference, and in the West, a big one between New Mexico United and Phoenix Rising in the first half. New York Red Bulls, too, it took them a while. Yep. Surprisingly, Charleston controlled possession early on. New York finally 60-40 split, and then you see the shots on target, 0 so far for Charleston.
Yeah, no shots on target. So, I mean, New York Red Bull, too, even though it is an even game, they've had more possession. They've been in Charleston's end a little bit more. But both teams have had, you know, similar chances. So, New York Red Bull, too, slight advantage. Definitely more possession. So, we'll see how this goes the second half. I think more of the same. But the first goal is going to change the game depending on who gets it.
For New York Red Bulls, too, they lose a little flexibility as well, forced into one early substitution. What will they do? You've seen the standings. You've seen what's at stake for New York Red Bulls, too. They start the weekend in first place in the Eastern Conference. They could end it in 5th place if they don't get the job done for the Charleston Battery. Just 1 point out of the final playoff spot. A lot to be decided coming forward here. We've got 45 more minutes of action under the lights here at MSU Soccer Park.
Lema gets it back. He will take a strike. Played in. Laurel gets a hand to it.
Denied by Laurel from point blank.
He's standing on his head right now.
He hands it to Lima, and a hat trick.
Barlow putting it in, back of the net. Deposited in by Jared Stroud. New York puts the exclamation point on this one tonight.
With MSG Go, the game goes where you go. So you can watch live Red Bulls games anywhere you want. It's free and easy because if you get MSG, you get MSG Go. Watch your favorite team wherever you are with MSG Go, presented by Lexus. Download it for free where you get your apps.
A great night for soccer in Montclair, New Jersey. The fans are out. The final $1 hot dog night of the season at MSU Soccer Park. David Goss and Mike Grella with you for this one here on ESPN+. An action-packed first half between these two teams, New York Red Bulls 2 and Charleston Battery. Both a ton to play for on opposite sides of the standings. Edgardo Rito starting out bright, an unfortunate start for him as he was forced off with a gruesome injury. Thoughts going out to him, but Omir Fernandez, only his second appearance in USL Championship. He's been bright early on.
He's been bright tonight. You know, he's gotten down the byline and crossed a few balls in. He's been dangerous. So he's played, we're seeing the same replay here, and he, you know, clips that one into the goalkeeper. Not really a good cross, but he's been good tonight. He's dropped into the midfield. He's kept them ticking. He just has a spark tonight.
The New York City native out of the BX getting his opportunity to play for this side. Rito here goes down a gruesome tackle, forced to be stretchered off. No one likes to see that, Edgardo Rito. We hope the best for him. And Charleston, after that early injury to Rito, they were the ones that responded just a little bit better, a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, at first they did, certainly, and then Red Bull 2 got themselves back into the game and had the better of the chances. They had more shots on target. But really an even game. It's been a physical one.
The big moment of the first half here, Kyle Nelson called for the penalty kick, and Jared Stroud stepping up, can't finish it off and makes it a little too easy for Charleston.
It's one of the worst penalties you see, and then one of the worst sort of moments after that for both Kuzminski and Stroud.
Opportunity either way after that, as Charleston saw a dangerous free kick flash just wide of the post here. And you saw for New York Red Bulls too, almost scoring off an own goal as well there in those final moments. That takes us in to this second half, and there'll be immediate substitution here for New York Red Bulls too. Looks like coming on is Jordan Scarlett. Scarlett, the full-time starter for this team, so we'll see what the change will be for New York Red Bulls too. 3 games left in the season, all 3 on the road for Charleston. A great stretch. They face Birmingham, the one team sitting right in front of them by 1 point on the road, and they close out against 3 teams out of the postseason race right now in Loudoun United, Memphis, and then Bethlehem. Scarlett coming on here as a halftime substitution. It'll be in place of Sean Nealis. So Nealis, 45 minutes for him, and that allows him to still be an option for the New York Red Bulls against DC United on Sunday at Red Bull Arena. And you bring in an experienced center back, the longest tenured New York Red Bull 2 player ever in Jordan Scarlett.
Yeah, Jordan Scarlett is a really good player. I'm high on him, and Nealis was solid tonight. You know, kept short up the back. He was strong. Kept Zico Lewis really quiet.
So 2 substitutions used here, both on defenders. One forced, probably both really forced, as you said, for John Wolenek. With conditioning and all the different things you have a minutes limit at times on players coming into the game. McSherry here, the substitute for Rito. He's been strong so far down the right wing. Puts that cross right on the near post.
Yeah, you know, and it's been physical and a lot of first and second balls in the midfield and all over the field, really. And then anytime a sort of, you know, they build up play or something happens, it's been kind of sloppy and poor. The finishing, the crossing for both teams has been really sloppy, and that last pass hasn't been there.
New York Red Bulls 2, 69 goals on the season. A nice return, as they are the second highest scoring team across USL, behind just Phoenix Rising. 71 goals in a season, the all-time best for a New York Red Bulls 2 team. So you expect them to break that mark here with 3 more games to go, plus this second half. But surprised that they weren't able to get on the mark in the first half. And Charleston, so far this one's gone to script for them. They've had some dangerous looks. They've had spells of possession. They've also been dangerous on the counterattack.
Tolkien does well there. You know, ball over the top. Defenders don't like that, facing their own goal, running back, but he does well there to keep possession and earn his team a goal kick.
What do you think the message was? As Omir Fernandez shows off a little bit of his ability there.
Yeah, a really nice turn. He spins the first guy.
That's what happens when you're from the Bronx. You got that little bit of swagger.
I suppose so. Yeah, Anunga just really overly aggressive, comes legs wide open.
But what do you think the message was from Mike Anhauser to this Charleston Battery team at halftime?
I think just being a little cleaner when they got to get the opportunities. They've been compact. They've defended well. They've gotten themselves into good positions out wide. And then that final cross and that final finish just hasn't been there. So
knockdown here from Jorgensen and Stroud. Once again, his 3rd big opportunity of the game, and he can't get his foot through that one.
You wonder if Stroud thinks about the goal record, the single season goal record that Brendan Allen has, because he's been sort of yippy in the finish tonight.
Uncharacteristic for him. 14 goals already on the season here for Stroud. We mentioned that chance at the record. Had 7 goals and 11 assists last year out of Colgate University. He was the 83rd pick in the 2018 Super Draft by New York Red Bulls. And right now, they're pretty satisfied with that selection. You have to think going into 2020, he's a guy who's going to challenge for Chris Armas' roster, let alone John Wolinek's.
Yeah, you'd like to see Stroud get a shot. He's been good. He's produced, mentality-wise, attitude-wise. Really good.
Long ball floated up from Van Schaik. So no changes so far in this one for Mike Anhauser. Kyle Nelson at right back, Mueller and Van Schaik at central center back, and Woodbine at left back. We've seen Candela and Anunga partner in central midfield behind Zico Lewis and Atula Guerra. And then we've seen Pigot and Rittmeyer have the license to work down the wings for Charleston. On the flip side for New York, 2 subs already used across the back line in front of Evan Loro. Coach John Wolenek was trying to show he could still do it over there on the sideline. McSherry, Scarlett, Kilwine, and Tolkien in defense for New York, a 4-2-2-2. Lima and Zayats right in front of the defense, Fernandez and Stroud in front of them, and up top, Elney and Jorgensen. A quiet game so far for Matthias Jorgensen.
Yeah. You don't mind your striker being quiet because he can pop up and score, especially with his pace running in behind. You see him now. He's standing in between the center backs, waiting for a ball in behind or waiting for an opportunity. But really, really poor last 5 minutes start to the second half in terms of quality of the game, possession-wise. Both teams have given possession and turned over possession many times over, with sloppy play, sloppy positioning. So it's been a low-level start in the second half.
And for these two teams, it's what they've been waiting for. The temperature's dropped, so you don't have to deal with the heat. 7:30 start time. Here's Jorgensen and Fernandez, and in our goal. Fernandez beats the keeper, and Jorgensen puts it in, and it'll stand. New York Red Bulls 2 have their lead.
Yeah, I think Omir Fernandez is trying to score there. I'm not sure, and I'd like to see it again because there could be an offsides. It could have been offsides, but Jorgensen gets his goal. I just said, he's been quiet, but he just needs that one chance, and he's in the right position, right time, and he gets the goal.
Well, for this refereeing crew, they were right on the line. Fernandez clips it past the goalkeeper. Jorgensen behind the ball.
Really good play.
And Fernandez, whether he's trying to go for the goal or not, he'll get an assist, at least on this one. His first career USL championship assist. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists in MLS, and Jorgensen now his 10th goal here in his first year in the United States, just 18 years old, out of Denmark.
Yeah, Fernandez has been a spark tonight all night. He's on the run there. He gets through, and whether he's trying to score or not, it is the right play, and he just puts it in a great position for Jorgensen. Jorgensen just taps it home.
Kuzminski has stood up to every single play he's had to so far in this game for Charleston. But Fernandez able to breach that goalkeeper, and Jorgensen there to just make sure it went in. As a goal scorer, you just got to be a good teammate and make sure it doesn't get cleared off the line.
So to be fair, he's crashing the box there, and I'm not sure if that ball has enough.
Yeah.
They wet the field a ton before the game and at the second half, but not enough to go in for them right there. So good thing that Jorgensen crashes the box, taps it home. Really easy goal for him. But you've got to be on the run. You've got to be in the right spot. You've got to kind of sniff that out to know what's going to happen. So credit to him.
He scored the equalizer against Charleston in the 81st minute down in South Carolina at the end of June in the lone matchup these two teams have had already this year. So he gets his second goal against Charleston. And for a kid just 18 years old moving from Denmark to the United States, took him a few games to get into the flow. A hat trick against Birmingham here at home helped him really open the floodgates. And now 10 goals here in about 16 appearances so far in his first year.
Yeah, he's a high-level player. He has a lot of quality. He's played at some really high levels before Red Bull as well. So, you know, you would expect everything that he's doing now. It's not a surprise to me at all. In the beginning, I think you need to adapt and get used to being in a different place with different systems and different culture. But he certainly has adapted. He's done well for this Red Bull 2 side.
Candela there called for the foul in midfield. Vincenzo Candela, Colombian-born, Italian-American. Played professionally over in Europe, in Portugal, as well as in Germany before coming back to the United States and linking up with Charleston. This ball over the top falls for Stroud, and he can't find the goal or the net behind it. Stroud's finishing woes continue here, but right now the pressure off a little as New York Red Bulls 2 finally have a lead in this one.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't look like himself tonight, in the box at least. Normally is really calm, collected, and has really good ability to finish. And that one, you know, is a better chance than you think. He can volley that hard and low, or he could even dink the goalkeeper. It was set up for it perfectly. So on the flip side of that, Charleston really poor defending. I mean, that's just a long ball that really shouldn't turn into a chance. And the back line just caught by surprise there. Don't deal with the first ball, let it bounce. So poor defending from Charleston in that situation.
You talked in the first half for New York about losing second balls in front of their back line, that gap, and it's been the opposite here, it seems like, in this second half, where New York's played some hopeful balls, and the second ball or the deflection have landed well for them. Charleston haven't been able to react.
Yeah, they defended poorly so far in the second half. Haven't won the first or second ball.
Turnover there from Rittmeyer. Fernandez able to ride off his tackle. Looks to play it through, and the flag goes up against Jorgensen.
Yeah, I think the ball was on earlier. You know, and then Fernandez took a little bit too many touches. I think if he sees that one back on video, he'll see that the ball should have been played to Jorgensen. He's on the run there. And Jorgensen's a guy, you know, I would love to play with, a guy that has so much pace and he's always looking to run him behind. That it sort of makes you look good when you just put balls into space for him. You look like a genius because he's just so fast and running onto him. So
he lets that one roll for Elney, knocked away. And Mueller able to battle through both Elney and Jorgensen to make the clearance.
Yeah, and you wonder with Elney there in those situations, is he seeing it fast enough that if he just lets that ball run with his speed and pace, you know, he's in on goal. He sort of takes a touch and kills the ball in that situation and loses his momentum, loses the momentum of the play. So I'm not sure he was ready for that play. Jorgensen, really high IQ, lets that ball go, but Elney not really ready.
Fantastic news, fans, as you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games in Spanish on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your clubs on ESPN and ESPN Plus. McSherry here gets by 3 players. And his early cross knocked down by Van Schaik. Zayats closes off the clearance. And now Lima up the field. Stroud linking up with Elney and Mueller once again. The longtime Charleston Battery veteran. 210 career appearances in black and gold. And he has been the man to step up at the final moment here throughout this second half for the Battery. Charleston hanging on right now in this one. Stroud cuts back. His shot blocked by Nelson. Surprising maybe a little bit, 56th minute. No one really warming up right now for the Battery. For Mike Anheuser, you'd think you'd want to find a way to change the tempo, the tone of this game, as New York Red Bulls 2 have started to control things.
Yeah, they really are. You know, they've had possession. They get the goal now. They're a tough team to play against once they get a goal, especially because they come flying at you. Hopefully Nelson's okay. But, you know, in that last play, good ball across. Stroud, really good chop. It just takes a little too long to get it off, but good idea.
You see Nelson there, his leg buckles a little. As his foot went flat and he took the contact, we hope.
Good defending from Nelson, though, to recover. You know, he gets chopped, he leaves his feet, so he makes a mistake there, but then the quick recovery to block that shot from Stroud.
Limping a little there from Nelson, so we'll see what Coach Anheuser chooses to do. He's got A.J. Patterson on the bench that he can bring on.
You know, McSherry in that last play, when he gets all that space, he does so well to get beyond like a few players there. And, you know, he has so much of the field left, and if he just takes a few more touches and then puts it across, it becomes a really dangerous chance. But instead, he plays it first time. So knowing when to do it and knowing when to do it quick, knowing when to take more touches. You know, I wish I was as good a player as I am in the booth. It's just so easy to see from up here, you know, and it's much more difficult on the field. I think that's important to note, you know. When you're down on the field and everyone's level, things are moving so quickly.
A slip here from Woodbine. Fernandez gets by him, and Woodbine recovers with the tackle. Kuzminski with the poor pass out to his fullback. Woodbine slipped at an inopportune moment, but he was able to recover and at least push it away for a corner kick.
A lot of these Charleston players, they don't take any prisoners in the challenge. I mean, there's been some hardy challenges. That was another big one there. Good recovery from Woodbine. And they're just clean, hard challenges.
So it'll be Chris Lima to take this corner kick. A few weeks ago, set the all-time record for minutes played in New York Red Bulls 2 history. Continues to add to here as he goes short to Stroud. McSherry's ball clipped in. Knocked away by Van Schaik. Scarlett goes all the way back to Tolkien. Some space for New York Red Bulls 2 to work with here. Another slip there from Nelson.
Nelson has his skates on tonight.
Good challenge. Candela charging out of midfield there, takes control, and it looks like New York Red Bulls 2 are about to make their final substitution of the game. Looks like it's going to be Omar Sow to come on. The 18-year-old who scored his first professional soccer goal against Louisville City just a week ago will come on here for Omir Fernandez. 60 minutes for the young homegrown player. What do you think of Fernandez?
I thought Fernandez was good tonight. He had an extra gear. He looked like he had a spark. He looked exciting. He gets the assist. And he had a really good night. Good run out for 60 minutes. Played a lot in the central midfield, you know, coming inside and connecting a lot of the plays.
So the Harrison, New Jersey native comes on. Looks like in place of Fernandez. We'll see if it'll be like for like or if a formation shift's coming. Charleston has their first substitute up off the bench. Looks like A.J. Patterson will be the man to come on, but Zico Lewis down holding his head. So we'll see if that affects what Mike Anheuser chooses to do. Lewis here gets a collision from McSherry attempting to win that header.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much, just the coming together. The heads just kind of touch each other, and I know it doesn't look like a lot, but those are painful, man. Just that little bit of contact, you know, skull to skull is really painful.
So it looks like it'll be like for like here as O'Brien Woodbine, who's sitting on a yellow card, will come off, and A.J. Patterson will come on. Patterson out of Wright State, originally drafted by NYCFC, just across the river in New York City. Spent last year with the Bethlehem Steel in his first year here with Charleston. Patterson's been a big-time player at left back. 16th appearance and now a full international with Granada, including scoring a goal in the latest Nations League international window. So he'll come on at left back. A good attacking option at that left back spot for Coach Anheuser, where we just talked about it. He had to make some sort of switch to try and get a little bit more control in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you see that now.
Lewis forward here for Rittmeyer, and the offside flag goes up.
You see that now more than ever. You see, you know, Charleston needs a goal to get into the game to at least get a point out of this game, which, you know, they really need. They're in that tight playoff race like we spoke about. And they change the left back, and normally you think, well, don't you need an attacker or a midfielder or someone who could? But like you just said, he scored in his last game, and he has that quality at the left back position, so he can from that position, if he's higher up and taking more gambles in the game, he can be the one that assists or scores a goal tonight.
You'd like to think Long Island native Arthur Bashua, who's got a huge fan section down below us, both from his days at Columbia University, as well as, of course, family and friends in the areas. This one's alive in the box. What a punch in the end there from Kuzminski.
Yeah, Long Island native, and I'm surprised he has a fan base here. I mean, it's only 50 miles away, so it only takes 4 hours in the car during traffic. So
such a complaint from Long Island, current resident and native Mike Grella. But Arthur Bashua has started the bulk of the season for this Charleston side. 3 goals already, so he's an attacking option at some point off the bench if they choose to go that way. Dante Marini as well. And Katori Higashi, the Japanese player in his first year in the United States. All of them potential options for Coach Mike Anhauser. He is searching for at least the goal here on the road. It was a strong performance from Charleston in the first half. 0-0 at halftime on the road against the top team in the Eastern Conference. New York, though, put the pressure on to start the second half. They got the goal finally from Matthias Jorgensen in the 51st minute, set up by Omir Fernandez. A reminder, New York Red Bulls, too, no more substitutions available to them. Long ball from Nelson. Flicked over from Lima. So trying to find Stroud.
I'm not sure who this benefits, but the game is, a lot of changes of possession, a lot of pinball type of game where the ball's just all over the place. And I'm not sure if it benefits Red Bull 2 or Charleston, but you'd like to see just a more controlled game. You're up 1-0 from Red Bull 2. You're at home. Control the game, pass the ball, let them sort of run out of positions and leave spaces for you to attack. But definitely pinballing around right now.
Only trying to find So over the top. Historically, that's the way New York Red Bulls 2 like to play, but it's different when you have a lead late in the game at home. New York Red Bulls 2 at times have struggled to shut the door with leads. They constantly are pushing for more goals, and right now they are one off tying their single season record here at MSU Soccer Park. As Tolkien gets crunched as he slides that one away. Stroud here in a battle with Anunga. Anunga gets it wide for Patterson. Patterson drives one low. He can't find a teammate, and Zayats will look to clear. Stroud closed down by Anunga, and he knows that tackle's coming just a moment later. Ball over the top here for Jorgensen in a foot race with Van Schaik. Jorgensen beats Van Schaik. And New York Red Bulls, too, have a foul called in favor of them in place of the opportunity for Jorgensen. It's Chris Lima back behind the play holding his leg. And if that one is on Brian Anunga, that could be his second yellow card of the game. And Evan Loro is out making that argument.
How's that for speed from Jorgensen, though? Ball over the top, really not much to it, and he's onto it and gets into that little gap of uncertainty between the last defender and the goalkeeper. Takes a touch and then gets a shot on goal. Good save from Kuzminski, but that speed is just so threatening and behind.
It seems odd that Daniel Gutierrez, the offside flag did not go up, would stop this play if he wasn't going to show a yellow card here. You allow that to play out, and then you can check on him. And Evan Loro, he's got his law degree out. He's been working the referees the entire game, both as a prosecutor and in defense.
Yeah, look at him go.
And Daniel Gutierrez will give Brian Anunga another opportunity here. Anunga red carded in the 45th minute against New York Red Bulls 2 in their first matchup this year, sitting on a yellow card from early in the first half. And right now, he will at least escape for a few more minutes in this one.
I'm very high on Anunga also. I think he's been fantastic. I think he's their best player. Physical presence. You know, he covers a lot of ground. He's all over. Good in possession. He would be a guy that I would like to play in my midfield. But he's been fantastic tonight. He's covering so much ground. He's getting around so quickly.
So this was the ball over the top from Lima. And Jorgensen clearly in an onside position. And it was Anunga going through the back of Lima there. Just moments after that one. And he's able to avoid that yellow card, so we stay even at 11.
Yeah, you know, he's been great. He's a fantastic player. But you've got to be a little smarter, especially when you have a yellow card. You know, running through the back of players when the ball's not even there anymore can easily get you a second yellow.
And it's that line some players choose to walk where you want to set a tone in midfield. We saw Anunga in the first half get the yellow card for coming in a little late, but coming in hard. Maybe trying to get some space for Zayats and Lima to be intimidated as Rittmeyer here. He holds off McSherry and the flag goes up. Nico Rittmeyer.
Rittmeyer, I think, cheats a little bit because I'm not sure he's confident that, you know, in his speed there against McSherry. So he tries to just cheat a step there, and it ends up costing him. Yeah. Oh, he's not offside.
Kilwine keeps him on there.
So, yeah, Kilwine certainly keeps him on there. So they should have let that play go.
Called off by our assistant referee there, and Jeffrey Skinner.
Rittmeyer, my apologies. You timed it perfectly.
Nico Rittmeyer, Charleston native. His first year at the pro level. Ball curled in here from Lima. McSherry will get on the end of this one. Hits an early ball in. Taken by Van Schaik. Into the feet of Rittmeyer. Charleston right now. They've settled themselves since the goal. Can they find the equalizer? So with a rocket right off the leg of Mueller.
You'll have to see that from So. He's in the game, hasn't really had many touches, but he really catches that one well. Bangs it with his left foot.
89 goals in high school soccer, scored 70 in one season. Yes, may not be at the highest level, but it takes time to put the ball in the net every once in a while, as we've got substitution coming here for Charleston. So it'll be night done here for Atula Guerra, who's still working his way back from injury. And Ian Svan Tessen will come on here for this Charleston side. 6'6", center forward out of Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, Guerra had a quiet night. He dragged that one chance that he had and didn't take it well. You know, one thing to note when you watch Guerra, he uses his body really well. Hold-up play was there, but they just never really got him involved in the game, and he also never really got himself involved in the game. So a quiet night for him.
Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship in many of the finest leagues in the world since 1947. Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products, special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. So a second free kick coming up here for New York Red Bulls too. Approaching the final 20 minutes of this one. David Goss and Mike Grillo with you here as we take a look at this back-to-back foul. Not a whole lot of contact there from Pigot on Tolkien.
Yeah, he's late, and there's a little bit of contact which puts him off. So, good call. You know, these positions of these set pieces are really dangerous, especially when they're in swingers.
So it'll be Lima to take his left-footed service, headed away at the near post. McSherry closing on this one, and his volley goes high and wide.
Yeah, McSherry just waits a little too long. Instead of getting it on the full volley, he takes it on the half volley, and that's much more difficult technique to get low and keep on the target.
A gruesome injury for Edgardo Rito to start the game. Just 2 minutes in, had to be stretchered off. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him. See, we hope for good news for the Venezuelan fullback. Sean McSherry came on for him. A back and forth first half, 60% possession for New York Red Bulls too, but arguably as big a chance either way. You mentioned Atula Guerra, the best look of the first half for Charleston in one-on-one with the goalkeeper, put it wide. Jared Stroud had a penalty kick that he earned, saved by Kuzminski. Stroud choosing not to go to either side. And then in the second half, 51st minute goal from Jorgensen. Stroud's had 2 or 3 more big looks.
Yeah, Red Bull 2 with a slight advantage all night in possession, in winning second balls, first balls, and even in the chances. They've had higher quality of chances.
Pigot goes wide there. Nelson could not lose that one. And he at least gets it out and puts it off of Tolkien. Omar Sow, just 18 years old, in his 3rd professional soccer appearance. Scored here in Open Cup play for the U23 side earlier this summer before signing a New York Red Bull 2 professional deal, scoring in his last game just minutes after coming on against Louisville City.
And if I'm Charleston and you know, if I'm Sven Tessin, I'm just staying in between the 2 center backs, in between the 18-yard lines. I see him, he's a little bit wide and he's a little bit deep. I'd like him to just be right in between the 2 center backs, being able to hold up balls so that, you know, Charleston could advance their position up the field.
So a yellow card shown here for Pigot. 4th yellow card shown to Charleston. Just the lone yellow card for John Tolkien so far on the New York Red Bull 2 side. It's been a bright game, though, for Romario Pigot. Panamanian U20 international, played at a U17 World Cup for Panama. Comes through the ball there and gets all of Tolkien's shin as we restart. Free kick floated to the far post. Kuzminski able to take it quite simply. Question right now, 15 minutes or so left. Is there another goal in this one for Charleston? It looks like Dante Marini is going to be the final substitution of the game for Coach Mike Anhauser.
Jordan Scarlett right through the back. Sven Tessin.
So Marini will come on here in place of Nico Rittmeyer. Dante Marini starting in the last game for Charleston, rotated here for the Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania native out of Northeastern University. 4 goals already this season for the undersized playmaker. This one's floated in. Nelson gets on the end of it, still alive in the box, headed away by Lima. Jorgensen trying to counter the other way. Anunga handles that one well. Turns it back over to Tolkien. Ball down the line for Stroud to chase. He's got Mueller and Anunga alongside him. He looks for early for So's feet. Elney pressuring. And Charleston able to avoid disaster there.
Yeah, awesome ball down the line, awesome running from Stroud. He picks the right pass, he just doesn't deliver it correctly. Sort of slows down on the turf.
It's been the story of the night for the Colgate man. 14 goals, 9 assists on the year. The all-time leading assist man in New York Red Bull 2 history, on the verge of becoming one of the great goal scorers in this club's young history. Just has not had a night to remember, which has been rare for him here in 2019.
Yeah, he's been really good in the box, and his stats tell the story. He's been so efficient in the box, and tonight's been the opposite for him. He's been good. He's been himself. He's run around. His great energy, great mentality. He's been good in the midfield and good in his build-up and his running. But he hasn't been clean in the box, that last little touch, and that can happen. Some nights you're just a little bit off for whatever the reason. And, you know, with Charleston on the flip side of all this, you'd like to see them have a little bit more of a way to attack and a way to get themselves back in this game. For me right now, it just looks like they're kind of clumped together, and it's very hopeful. You know, it's a lot of long balls, which is fine if you're set up to play that way, but it's a lot of really low-quality long balls. I mean, the last one just went out of play, so you'd like to see them get themselves in this game by maybe putting more numbers forward and playing long, or, you know, getting the ball wide and playing some sort of passes or counterattacking football.
Lima's ball in for Jorgensen. He lays it back for Stroud. Stroud shot over the crossbar. Jared Stroud, a night to forget for him. A missed penalty kick. 3 chances in open play that over the course of the season he puts away, and it just has not been there for Jared Stroud.
Awesome layoff from Jorgensen, and Stroud, you see something, something's a little off because he takes a touch there where normally I think he hits that first time, and I think it required to be hit first time. Just for even catching the goalkeeper off, it was easier to hit that one first time.
Kilwine with the clearance.
Just really wanted to be careful and take that extra touch, and hasn't been himself in the final third tonight.
Tolkien racing out there, turned it over. Marini on the field here. Lays it back. Svantesson looking for the chance, and it's blocked away from the feet of Ian Svantesson.
Svantesson does the right thing there. He fakes the shoot, takes a nice touch. Jordan Scarlett, however. Jordan Scarlett doesn't fall for it. Great touch, and then Jordan Scarlett not going to back out of that one. Good challenge.
So Tolkien caught out of position there. Marini takes that space down the right side and almost sets up his fellow substitute. Charleston battery here. Starting to cause a little panic along the New York Red Bull 2 back line. Final home game of the 2019 regular season for New York Red Bulls 2. Coming into the night sitting in first place in the Eastern Conference on 56 points. They are on the verge of setting a couple records in their franchise's short history. And we'll get to those as this game continues on. But for New York Red Bulls 2, the biggest job here is to secure their spot as high up the Eastern Conference standings as they can and try and secure as many home games in the postseason as possible. 7th through 10th seed will play in a one-game knockout to open the playoffs in USL Championship play. Then the top 6 will join those 2 remaining clubs for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of the conference before going to the USL Championship. Von Schaik not able to clear it out.
The game's been so physical and so quick, and so many whistles, so many yellow cards. It's been a really choppy affair. And it sort of looks like what you would normally see in the first 5 minutes of a game, 10 minutes a game before it settles down. Just that so many turnovers and so many mistakes.
I mentioned that playoff race. You can continue to watch it all on ESPN3 on October 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern as El Paso Locomotive look to secure one of the final playoff spots, while Fresno FC has its sights set on hosting a postseason game. It's Locomotive FC and Foxes, October 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN3. Kilwine going back to the feet of Loro. He clears it out to McSherry. McSherry's long touch almost taken by Svantesson. Lima can't find Stroud, and it's swept away by Patterson. It takes a touch off Elney. It'll be a throw in here for the battery.
Yeah, you see that play there, throw into the striker. Striker heads it out of play. It's a bad throw. It's a bad header. Just quick.
For Charleston, it hasn't been clean for them here in this second half, but they're still alive. All they need is one moment of magic here to steal a point. That would be massive for them. It would put them in a playoff spot for the day, put them in the driver's seat going to Birmingham next week. Marini floats it in. Too high for Svantesson, and it'll go out for a corner kick coming here. Mueller comes forward. Van Schaik comes forward. The 6'6" sides of Svantesson in the box. Kyle Nelson and A.J. Patterson as well. The white shirts flood the box here for Charleston. This will be one of their last big opportunities. It'll be former New York Red Bull 2-man Zico Lewis to take. Left-footed service on the near post. And Loro lets that one hit the side netting and go out for a goal kick.
You just wonder with Zico Lewis, he has so much quality and so much ability. He's got the right mindset, but sometimes, there's that last finish, that last, like this corner kick late in the game. Got to really be careful with how you play that ball. You've got your big center forward on the near post. I know he's trying to hit him there, but kind of just overturns it. So you wonder sometimes about how clean can he be in the right moment. And struggling a little bit right now, down 1-0, and his team needs something from him.
Former New York Red Bull first-round draft pick. An opportunity coming here. Anunga into the feet of Lewis. And Lewis has his shot deflected. Another big look for the man who scored the first ever goal in MSU Soccer Park history. Today, New York Red Bull Sioux lifted their 2 banners that exist so far. And Lewis, another chance here.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really, his first touch is not good, doesn't really have an idea of what he wants to do with it. So you wonder in these big moments when he needs to be clean and needs to have that goal if he can do it.
That ball driven in, headed away by Scarlett. And now knocked away by McSherry. Jorgensen holds it up a little. He looks forward to a teammate, but hits it too long.
And on that earlier play when Charleston are attacking, Anunga, wow, I mean, plays it around the other side and then just gets going. When he's running, he looks like a freight train. Like, he's just picking up so much speed, and he's in a direct line. Really good player.
Lewis has it knocked away by McSherry. Both teams have made all 3 substitutions. So the actors are out there on the stage. Is there a moment of magic in this one? A hero for Charleston. Well, New York Red Bulls 2 secure their record-breaking 12th home win of the season. As Laurel guides that one into his hands.
Yeah, Marini's getting himself involved in the game. He's had some good touches and some good areas. He hasn't been able to do anything with it.
I mean, you know Dante Marini's going to play well. He went to Northeastern. It's the best school in the world. Some of the best soccer graduates of all time, like guys like David Goss. Ball down the line here for Tolkien. Tolkien drives one, and he puts it way behind the goal.
And again, this game is an outlier. You know, there's been some really good games here that high quality finishes. And this game has just been really, in that final third, just the quality has been low.
And odd to see because we saw it at times in the first half. The finish wasn't there, but good passes, good combinations.
Yeah.
And on a night when it's finally cooled down here in the Northeast, 7:30 p.m. start, so later, less sun as So goes flying in here on Nelson. And a yellow card coming out for Omar So. But you thought this would be the game where you'd see the sharpness from both sides, not having to deal with that heat, having a week off for both teams. But it just hasn't been there here in the second half.
Yeah, you know, what the heat does is it makes you fatigued, it makes you tired, and you start to make bad decisions because you're tired. And, you know, I would argue that they are tired. It's been a game full of transitions, so maybe that's coming into some of their low quality. And he actually touches the ball there, but...
So called for the yellow card, the second of the game to New York Red Bull 2 player, the 6th overall.
And you wonder with Stroud, too, someone who's normally very, very good in the final third.
Jorgensen off to the races there, but that one too long from Stroud.
Is he tired from a long season? Is he tired from tonight? The big transitions back and forth. I mean, it really demands a lot to be sprinting up and down the field 60, 70 yards back and forth all night, no matter what the temperatures are.
Coming into this one, New York Red Bulls 2 had played 7 games in 3 days, including 2 of them on the road at St. Louis and at Louisville. They have a nice little break after this game for New York until October 5th. But they closed the season with Birmingham on October 16th. Because of that rain delay, that game shoved in, and Loudoun United on October 19th. Before what they hope will be a first-round bye for New York Red Bulls 2, and they hope to host some more games here at MSU Soccer Park. Charleston still work to do just to get into the postseason. Lewis cuts this one back. Marini chases it down. He's got Patterson making the run outside of him. Marini stopped by Elney. Now Patterson 1v1 with McSherry. McSherry makes the tackle, and he puts it out for a corner kick.
Yeah, again, Zico Lewis, opportunity to go 1v1, opportunity to cut inside and shoot or pick a pass. Kind of a sloppy pass. Marini again gets the ball in a really good position. Kind of slows it down, plays it out to Patterson. They lose that momentum. They lose that counterattack.
Can Zico Lewis make up for it here? Good corner kick played in. Nelson's header. He can't get over it, and it goes over the crossbar. Notice the service getting better there. Those driven balls to the top of the 6. And that the best opportunity for Charleston, really, of these final 15, 20 minutes.
And you can't fault Kyle Nelson here. I mean, he's been aggressive all night. He's been up and down the field. He's just, again, with the ball hasn't been so great, but
called for a penalty kick in the first half was Nelson. They're clipping the heels of Stroud in the box. Kuzminski stonewalled Stroud, who tried to go straight down the middle for his 15th goal of the season. To get us in the halftime locker room at 0-0. Matthias Jorgensen polished off Omir Fernandez's chip ball over Kuzminski in the 51st minute for our lone goal so far in this one. Lima now down the left side. Mueller closes him down. Lima looking for a teammate, and it's cleared away by Patterson.
And the game's wide open here, so you think that there'll be a goal coming in the next few minutes.
McSherry floats this one across the box. Nelson heads it away. Marini gets it under control. Closed down by red shirts. Still Charleston maintains it. Lewis now 1v1 with Scarlett. He goes early, big ball across the field, and Laurel's able to control that one. In front of Svantesson.
Yeah, Lewis, awesome idea there. You know, awesome idea to see that and then try to execute it it's good to see because, you know, he's thinking of that play. And that really could unlock the Red Bull defense there, that pass. Quality missing again on that pass. But both teams committing numbers forward late in the game, so you would think that we're going to see a really good chance in the next few minutes.
A wide open game here, even with the 1-0 lead for New York. Jordan Scarlett goes down here after a collision. The foul will go against Kilwine for pushing Svantesson into Scarlett, who's down now after the play. New York Red Bulls 2 have no more substitutions. They've already lost a defender to injury in Edgardo Rito. And John Wolenek is furious on the sideline right now after that call. He's been frustrated. We saw him go over to the referees at the close of the first half. Scarlett's now back up on his feet. Daniel Gutierrez will have to make him go off now with a trainer coming on. So that means a center back and a ball winner in the air off the field for New York Red Bulls 2 here with a free kick coming for Charleston.
He's their best header of the ball, so really inopportune.
Charleston Battery, goal behind on the road, 1 point behind for the final playoff spot. It'll be Van Schaik to take this one. All 9 field players forward on the field as we enter 5 minutes minimum of stoppage time. Nelson heads it back middle. It's cleared away by New York, and Scarlett now back on the field. The center back comes sprinting across. Marini gets a turn on that one. Patterson can't get the second touch as McSherry knocks it away. The header in the wrong direction there from Candela. Van Schaik turns it over, and New York gets back in possession. 5 more minutes at least in this one. So, he's got 2 defenders to beat. He's got Jorgensen outside of him. Jorgensen can't get it on frame.
You just can't believe how many good chances and how many goals New York Red Bull 2 side have passed up. So's done well there. He gets in between the 2 defenders, creates a lot of trouble there. You see here he's outnumbered, but he moving forward, powerful, cuts it across, and then makes believe he's going to shoot. Delicate little pass, Jorgensen. For me, he's got to do better there.
Kilwine not able to get that one out. Held in by Pigot. Back here. Anunga, long ball over the box. Patterson brings it down on the far side. McSherry knocks it away in the 1v1 battle, and he earns the free kick.
Hats off to McSherry. Awesome performance tonight. You know, comes onto the field with not much of a warm up. He's been fantastic. He hasn't lost a duel. He's been up and down. He's been quality in the ball. He's played well tonight.
New York Red Bulls 2, 14 shots to Charleston 7, 6 on goal compared to 0 for the Charleston Battery. Sean McSherry, as you mentioned, subbed on just 8 minutes into this game for the injured Edgardo Rito. His second straight game coming off the bench at right back and putting in a solid shift for John Wolenek's team.
And Evan Lauro now, he just kicks the ball out of play, and it just sums up the night. He normally has so much quality, but it just sums up what the game was tonight.
Right now, New York Red Bulls, too, just surviving in this one. They could be surviving on their way to setting a record for home wins on the season and potentially securing a home postseason game here at MSU Soccer Park. Lima goes wide for Elney. Elney here will go down towards the corner. He dribbles out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick coming here. Very rare to see New York even go to the corner to waste time, and Elney just not enough quality there to keep that one in, and it's been a sloppy night both sides of the field. We started part of some of the residual with Ricardo Rito going down with that gruesome injury just 2 minutes into the game. Took about 10 minutes for him to be stretchered off the field, and really makes all these players feel their humanity for a moment. Took a few minutes for New York to get awake again. Charleston the better in the first half. New York Red Bulls, too, started to create chances in the second as that shot goes over the top from Pigot.
Yeah, good little 1-2 play with Anunga. And Pigot, who's been good. He's been good tonight. Look at this little tight play here.
Everything that's gone well for Charleston's come through Anunga, whether defensively or offensively, and Pigot just can't get enough over that ball to keep it under the crossbar. Final few moments here. David Goss and Mike Grella with you for the home finale of the 2019 regular season for New York Red Bulls, too. They hope it's not their final home game of the year. Currently sitting in first place, this win would put them well on top as Stroud goes inches wide. It is not that man's night. It's been his season, but not his night for Jared Stroud. Von Tessen can't chest that one down to a teammate. Tolkien heads it out. Final few moments here for Charleston. Desperation setting in. They've got to throw all their numbers forward. Nelson trying to get to the end line. His cross blocked. It'll be a corner kick coming. And this could be it for the Battery. Kuzminski's up at midfield asking to go in the box. Von Schaik, who sat on the top of the box on every single attempt, he goes into the 18. Ball curled in right on the goalkeeper. Laura with the first punch. Anunga keeps it alive. Clips it over here. Candela chance to serve a ball in. He does on the far post, and there it is for Charleston. In the dying seconds, A.J. Patterson off the bench, and the Battery tie it on the road.
And you know, we said you're putting the left back in and you're losing the game, and he comes on and scores. And he's in the right place at the right time. Not much to do once he's in that position. He bangs it home. You know, you see here the ball gets played out. Look at this play from Anunga. Chips it over. He's confident enough to play, then chip it over. Good ball across, wide open in the middle of the field, in the middle of the box on the 6-yard line. Patterson just slams it home.
Candela, his second assist of the year. A.J. Patterson, his first career professional soccer goal out of Wright State. A number 10, an attacker in college, transitioning in as a defender at the pro level, and he makes New York pay for their inability to close this game off at home. Just seconds away from a victory. And Charleston Battery, a miracle snapped out of the jaws of defeat here in the dying moments. And for the second time this year, New York Red Bulls 2 and Charleston Battery face off. And for the second time this year, it's a 1-1 draw. The Battery move to a tie for 10th place for the final playoff spot. A dramatic equalizer for the away team. And John Wolenek will shake his head after this one as his team not able to put away the win.
Yeah, New York Red Bull 2 coming off of 2 losses. This one will sting. This one will feel like a loss because they were leading the whole game. The truth be told, they were not good enough tonight. Charleston Battery stuck in the game, played physical. In the end, 1-1 result. It seems fair.
Mike Anheuser made his substitutions, and they worked to perfection. A.J. Patterson his left back rising up at the back post to equalize this game in the 96th minute. And that'll be it, as Charleston Battery are able to tie New York Red Bulls 2 for the second time this year. And the 4 teams sitting behind New York Red Bulls 2 at the top of the Eastern Conference will be licking their lips at an opportunity to jump over the team that was leading the conference at the start of the day. We'll be back in just a moment here with all of your post-game coverage here on ESPN+.
Lema gets it back. He will take a strike. Played in. Lauro gets a hand to it.
Denied by Lauro from point blank.
He's standing on his head right now.
He hands it to Lima and a hat trick.
Barlow putting it in, back of the net. Deposited in by Jared Stroud. New York puts the exclamation point on this one tonight.
MSU Soccer Park hopes they will be hosting one more at least game for New York Red Bulls 2. It's New York Red Bulls 2 hoping to host a postseason game, but that'll be it for the regular season as the Charleston Battery and their fans who traveled for this one. Excitement in the dying moments as they equalize in the 96th minute. David Goss and Mike Grella with you here on ESPN Plus as we take a look at the final stats in this one for you. Mike, final thoughts for Charleston, who battled, and got the result.
Away from home, this is a tough place to come and get a point, so they stay in it. They stay true to themselves. The game was really open at the end. They finally get their chance. They put it away 1-1. You know, you've got to just wonder with Stroud and a lot of the chances that New York Red Bull 2 had, if they put the match away, which they had many chances, then this game is over. But they don't. Comes back and bites them. So overall, really fantastic season for New York Red Bull 2, but they're coming off of 2 losses, and this one seems like a loss, but a draw. And so it's been a rough ride the last 3 games.
New York Red Bulls 2 yet to win a game since they clinched their playoff spot, but they've got plenty more to play this season. A heartbreaking one from the home side, but a dramatic one for Charleston as they continue their hunt for a postseason spot. That's all for us here at MSU Soccer Park. Thanks so much for watching tonight and all season from myself, David Goss, and Mike Grella, and everyone here a part of our broadcast. Have a great night and enjoy the rest of the USL Championship season on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.